Every now and then, a game is released in a genre I rarely dabble in, but it is so well received that I have no choice but to give it a look. Sayonara Wild Hearts is exactly that game, which can be best described as a crossover between a music rhythm game and a mobile auto runner. Any initial reservations I had were quickly washed away, as the result is such a captivating experience that draws you in from start to finish. You'll play the entire game as a girl who just underwent some sort of breakup or trauma, and through dreamlike scenes you will drive, fly, and even shoot your way through a series of about 25 levels. Most levels bring some significant variation from one to the next and are designed completely with the soundtrack in mind. This leads to a lot of timing and rhythm-based movement to get through the levels as cleanly as possible. The game will score how well you do at collecting hearts on each level and track, or potentially any other movement or time-based action. Part of the joy is discovering what the game is trying to ask you to do, as again, almost every level will leave you to quickly figure it out for yourself. It is never confusing or hard, as the control scheme is just a couple buttons, but like with most games, repeated attempts are often necessary.
Gold rank!
Without breaking down or even spoiling what happens on each level, that really is the core of the entire gameplay experience. What elevates the game, though, is how well it gels with its music and visuals. The futuristically bright neon colors pop extremely well, fit with the music, and drive as much of the story as anything else does. I was always excited to see what the next level would bring, and I was never disappointed. The highlight for me was a level that rhythmically switched the layout of the track on every single beat and visually tested your ability to look ahead and plan versus reacting quickly to obstacles. After you initially complete the game in just an hour or two, you get the same feeling you might get after listening to an album from a band you like for the first time. I don't really think I ever felt that way when playing a video game. You'll want to replay the game from start to finish again just to pick out your favorite moments. Normally that incredibly short length might be a deal breaker, but it really isn't for this game. After beating the story, you'll be able to chase your own high scores on each level, which gives the game an old school vibe of trying to get perfect runs. There are also a pair of additional unlockable extras after beating the game, with all gold medals or without dying. Being as this is a music rhythm game at heart, let's talk a little about the music itself. As you can already tell, the genre is electronic pop of sorts. While this could have been incredibly generic as it's used in many video games, it is definitely several notches over typical video game pop sounds and sets the pace perfectly. There's a reason why the game's soundtrack received a separate vinyl release through IM8bit, who is also the publisher. It obviously helps that the levels are completely designed around the music, so you definitely feel attached to every element in each song more than you would if you were just listening to the music alone. In the end, Sayonara Wild Hearts is a very easy game to recommend and worth the universal praise it's received since launch, especially since it's such an easy commitment to make as a gamer. While its shorter length and gameplay style are not necessarily for everyone, if you are looking to add something original to your pick up and play collection, then look no further and give Sayonara Wild Hearts a try. The frenetic energy and mesmerizing visuals are worth the price of admission alone, and the genre-blending gameplay meshes perfectly to create a memorable and joyful gaming experience.